Good morning. Yesterday was the launch of a new movie that's available online for 7 days for free called The Wisdom of Trauma, and it features the therapist Gabor Mate out of Canada. Over yesterday through the next week, every day he will be having a conversation with one or two different therapists talking about the different kinds of trauma therapy that are available. So whether you are a therapist or you are looking to do your own healing, you're an alternative healer, an energy healer, intuitive healer, whatever label you want to put on yourself, or you're just the average person walking around and wondering, maybe I should check this trauma stuff out. It's really, really amazing, the conversations that he's having. And as we move through the summer months and more is being revealed, coming out of the darkness into the light around the world. A lot of people we thought were good people that had our best interests in heart, or that the media just kind of programmed us to believe were good. A lot of issues that have been hidden. All of this is coming to the light. There won't be secrets and lies over the next several months that are still hidden. And one of the big things that is coming out of all of this change, especially since last year, and that will continue through the summer and the rest of this year and this decade, is the discussion around trauma and the fact that every single person on this planet holds trauma, whether they're conscious of it or not. We hold trauma in our bodies from things that happened to us in our childhood. Some of it, might have been something like we moved as we were a young child. We left everybody behind that we knew and loved, all of our extended family, and we moved to a new location. That happened to me, and when I was very young, and it created a lot of trauma, and it created a lot of energy blocks and a lot of patterns in my life that took a long time to sort out, to be okay looking at, healing and releasing. And it could be something even more dramatic, as we often think of trauma, as some kind of abuse, physical, mental, emotional. It can be anything in between. It can also be patterns that our family has followed or beliefs that they had and the way that they impacted us as we were growing up. Trauma can also be things we've experienced as teenagers and adults. It could also be things that have been inherited. If we look at World War II and the trauma that happened, there are a lot of studies, most of you who watch my videos and read my articles know about Holocaust survivors and their descendants and the inherited trauma that comes down through them. But all of us have an inherited trauma, and starting to pick apart those different layers of what is going on, what are our beliefs, what things are we living out, what patterns do we keep repeating that are not always good for us, we can start to look at, as we compare with our personal lives and our family history, what's going on. And if you believe in past lives, there can also be past life trauma that has stuck in your energy body, stuck in your physical body, that has never been released. An example of past life for me is I walked around for most of my life with a thought in my head about something tragic and traumatic that had happened to me, but it never happened to me in this life. However, when I went to Europe for the first time, I was in a place in France where this event had happened. And all of these triggers started happening. People would say it would be like an anxiety attack, but it was really my soul trying to drudge up and get my attention, like, hey, you need to look at this, dive into this and see what this is. And once I did that and healed and released it, that thought never comes into my head anymore. Again, you don't have to believe in past lives, but we all carry trauma. So many of us who work as healers or therapists or any kind of medical workers that are into alternative therapies are now, a lot of us, starting to look at trauma and studying trauma and figuring out how can we best help the people that we work with or help our family members. Because as more truth comes out into the light, the people that are around us who were not already seeing it because of the layers of programming they've had since birth, the layers of trauma they haven't looked at and healed, are going to start waking up and have a difficult time, especially when it starts flooding out there. So I invite you to take a look at your personal beliefs and patterns that you keep repeating and what is in your family history. And very soon, I'm going to be releasing some new webinars, new classes that will help you figure that out even more, give you some concrete tools to help you do that. But there was something else that came out of yesterday's discussion about the Wisdom of Trauma movie that has come out. And Gabor had a conversation with Resmaa Menakem, and he wrote the book, My Grandmother's Hands. Some of you have heard of this if you've worked with me over the last couple of years. I read it in 2019, marked it up, resonated with me on several levels, made me uncomfortable on other levels, and some things I just couldn't relate to at all at that point. Then I heard him speak at a conference, and it really shut me down to what he was trying to say. And then I took a step back and I did more of my own healing and released some of my own layers of trauma, saw him here and there, and listened to him again yesterday. I picked up his book multiple times to read sections of it over the last year and a half, 2 years. And listening to him now, because I've cleared so much of my own stuff, some of his stuff is resonating with me again. So if you've studied with any teachers on your healing journey that have resonated with you for a while and then they don't, that's okay. Maybe you'll work with them again in the future. Maybe you won't. But I thought that was very interesting for me to see how I had kind of done this dance with his work. And I can say that energy teachers, energy healers, therapists do come across very differently in the written word than they do when they're being interviewed or they're teaching. This applies for everybody. So I just wanted to let that sit with you. That was something that came across yesterday. And today, Gabor is going to talk to Thomas Hübl, who wrote the book, The Collective, or Healing Collective Trauma, that came out last November. I've been studying with Thomas for a little over a year now, and I'm getting ready to take another one of his programs that starts later this month. And he is a mystic and a therapist, and the way he goes about helping you unearth these things within your own trauma body, physical body, energetic bodies, or that within your ancestral lineage is much different than other teachers I've studied with. And I really like a lot of his approaches. So if you're interested in exploring that, you might want to tune in today. Just look up Thomas Hübl, Hubl, or look up Gabor Mate, Gabo, last name Mate, or The Wisdom of Trauma, and join their website, sign up for the movie so that you can watch it for free. And if you make a donation or you buy the whole package, you get one of Gabor's classes and a lot of extra bonuses that can help you as you move through your healing path. So my invitation, again, I think I've given you a lot of them now, are to investigate some of these therapists and healers that are talking and speaking and writing, teaching about all of these different modalities, because one healing modality, one teacher is not going to work for you for your whole life. Because the more we heal, the more we release, then we're open to other people's perspectives, other people's experiences, and the way that they do healing. So I invite you to start exploring that. If you have questions about any of the trauma healing, especially as it relates to your ancestral lineage, please reach out. And I'll be launching a new website soon with a new mailing list that will bring together a lot of the military and personal healing, ancestral healing things that I've been working on for the last couple of years into one space, and teaching a lot of new tools so that we can all start to heal. I hope you all have a beautiful day. If you've watched any of the Wisdom of Trauma or seen any of the conversations, I'd love to hear what you thought. Have a great day.